Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, Dr. Makhan Saikia's talk on foreign affairs. Today we are going to discuss some 8 personalities, those who were in limelight in this month and the last month, right? And these 8 personalities, those who were in the limelight are Yevgeny Prigozhin, Aung San Suu Kyi, Sreta Tabazin, Kim Jong-un, Azali Assoumani, Sergei Survikin, Justin Trudeau, and the last one is Rupert Murdoch. Let's start with the first one, Yevgeny Prigozhin. Who is Yevgeny Prigozhin? Yevgeny Viktorovich Prigozhin was born on June 1st, 1961 and died in a plane crash on August 23, 2023. He was a Russian mercenary leader and an oligarch. He, along with Dmitry Yudkin, together founded the Wagner Group, a Russian mercenary group in 2014. It is actually a private army. The Wagner Group is named after Adolf Hitler's famous composer Richard Wagner. He was a convict, and after releasing from jail, he started a chain of restaurants. Then Prigozhin came to be known as the chief of Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation. He helped Putin in the current Ukraine attack by supplying his mercenaries, and he also fought in the war in the front line. His group operates in more than 30 countries, including Syria, Libya, and countries of Western Africa. But in June, he attacked Russia by crossing from the occupied Ukrainian territory and quickly took control of a southern city of Russia called Rostov-on-Don. Putin described it as treason, and he promised quick punishment for him. Later, his troops moved towards Moscow to replace the Russian military chief. But after a deal mediated by Belarus dictator Alexander Lukashenko, charges against Prigozhin and his Wagner army was dropped. Then Prigozhin moved to Belarus and stayed there. Finally, he died along with Utkin in a plane crash on August 23, 2023, alleged to be masterminded by Russian air defense forces. Now, we'll be talking about the next person in the limelight. She is Aung San Suu Kyi, right? She's from Burma. We all know about her. Let's have a look why she was in the news. She is popularly called as Suu Kyi, Amaya Suu, that is Mother Suu, and Dao, that is Elder Aung San Suu Kyi. Recently, she was in the news as her health condition worsened in the prison. Currently, she is serving a prison term of 27 years, facing a string of charges by the military. She is a Burmese political leader and a former state councillor of the country till January 31st, 2021. Her political party, called the National League for Democracy, that is NLD, won the general elections of Burma in 2016 and in 2020. She ruled the country from 2016 to 2020 as a state councillor, that is a post equivalent to Prime Minister. But when she won the second term, the country's army, called as Tatmadaw in Burmese language, overthrew her in a silent coup. The army complained that the election won by Suu Kyi is not genuine and it is full of irregularities. The army, under the leadership of General Mein Aung Hlaing, took over the country on February 1st, 2021. Since then, Myanmar is under military rule till date. General Helium made himself the Prime Minister of the country in August 2021. Myanmar got independence from the British rule in 1948, but fell under the military rule from 1962 to 2011, and again the country was returned to junta rule in February 2021, which is ongoing now. Now, the junta has been facing armed resistance from various ethnic organizations who have formed a national unity government that is called NUG, and from People's Defense Forces PDF. So far, more than 4,000 people have died, but the military is in no mood to release Suu Kyi and her colleagues from jail. Myanmar's fragile democracy and the health of Suu Kyi, who won Nobel Prize in 1991, are equally in danger in the country. Now, we'll be talking about the third personality. He is Srettha Thavisin. Who is he? He's the new Prime Minister of Thailand. The name of his political party is Pheu Thai, a populist party founded by former Prime Minister and billionaire Thaksin Shinawatra. Srettha was a real estate tycoon and now the leader of the new government of Thailand. His election to the Prime Minister's post put an end to 3 months long political deadlock in Thailand. His election comes the day when Thaksin Shinawatra also returned to Thailand after 15 years of self-exile. In fact, the general election that took place in May was won by a social democratic, left-wing, populist and progressive party called Move Forward. But this party called for amending Thailand's strict royal defamation laws known as Article 112. So, the Parliament of Thailand blocked the Move Forward party's leader to form the next government. Now, the new coalition government of Srettha is backed by two military-backed political parties called Palang Pracharat and United Thai National Party. Unfortunately, both these parties are affiliated to coup leader and former Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha. Prayut was the former general who toppled the democratically elected Pheu Thai government of Yingluck Shinawatra, the sister of Thaksin Shinawatra, and the first woman Prime Minister of the country in May 2014. So now, Prime Minister Srettha has a tough job to balance his party supporters who voted against the military rule, but now he's supported by the same military-backed parties that overthrew Pheu Thai government once in the past. Next personality in focus was Kim Jong-un. He's the North Korean leader and dictator who was in the news as he visited Russia and met President Vladimir Putin. The main purpose of Kim's visit was to strike an arms deal with Putin. During the visit, Kim publicly supported Russia's fight for its sovereignty in the current war with Ukraine. Currently, Moscow wants to have more weapons to fight the war in Ukraine, and it wants North Korea's immediate help for the same. The visit is historic as the two leaders met at a time when the relations with the West is all-time low. Soon after the birth of Kim Jong-un, the youngest son of Kim Jong-il, and his third wife, Ko Young-hui, he automatically acquired a state-owned personality cult for himself. Mythology in the country says that Kim's family belongs to a semi-divine dynasty that had a close connection with a spiritual mountain called Paektu. This mountain is located on the Korea-China border. His political party is known as Workers' Party of Korea. In North Korea, all authority flows from the supreme leader Kim Jong-un. The Kim family, particularly the three supreme leaders, starting from Kim Il-sung, who ruled the country from independence, that is 1948 to 1994, and the next Kim Jong-il, who ruled the country from 1994 to 2011, and now Kim Jong-un has been ruling the poor nation since 2012. The current leader, Kim Jong-un, has been ruling North Korea after the death of his father in 2011. His only strength lies in his nuclear weapons, through which he bargains and terrorizes the neighboring countries. The next personality is Azali Assoumani. Who is he? Azali Assoumani was in the news as he came to India to attend the latest G20 summit in Delhi from September 9 to 10 this year. He is currently the chairperson of the African Union. He is also the president of the Comoros, an island nation situated in the Indian Ocean. Being the chairperson of the African Union, he has created a history by making the 55-member country group as the permanent member of the G20 nations. At the same time, Mr. Assoumani received full support from all the existing 20 members of the G20 to make his union a member of the global body. Needless to say here that Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India's presidency of G20 has specially supported the African Union to become a permanent member of the group. With the giant step of Assoumani, the nations of the global south has reclaimed the much needed space in the G20 group. Today, many international observers claim that India, by spearheading this cause, could be called as the champion of the global south. Apart from Assoumani's hold, in the group and his bold move, the African continent will be hosting the G20 summit in the year 2025 in South Africa. He has just begun the journey. Now, it is the responsibility of the African Union to highlight its issues and get maximum out of the G20 group of nations. The next personality is Sergei Survikin. Who's he? Sergei Vladimirovich Survikin was the commander-in-chief of the aerospace forces of Russia from 2017 to mid of 2023 when fired by President Vladimir Putin. When the Wagner army chief Yevgeny Prigozhin launched a mutiny against the top brass of the Russian army in June 23, 2023, Survikin was later removed from his post and he went missing from public life. It is very important to note that on August 23, 2023, when Prigozhin and 6 of his close confidants died in a plane crash while traveling from St. Petersburg to Moscow, on the same day, Survikin is also removed from his job. In fact, President Putin appointed him as the commander of the special military operations that he launched against Ukraine in February 2022. He was known for his role in the Syrian war, wherein he finally helped Syrian President Bashar al-Assad to change the war in the latter's favor. It is only in 2015 President Putin decided to send Russian troops to the Syrian battlefield to fight against the West-backed rebels. And for his role in the Syrian war, Survikin was awarded the Hero of Russia medal. He began his military career in the 1980s when the Soviet Russia invaded Afghanistan. He fought the war in Afghanistan as a member of the Soviet Special Forces. Unfortunately, the invasion had to be called off because of the sudden breakup of the USSR. He was a part of the coup that was launched against the last president of USSR, Mikhail Gorbachev, in 1991. He also played a significant role in fighting the insurgent groups in Chechnya as a commander of the 42 Guards Motor Division. He is currently in the custody of the Russian government and facing charges of treason and terrorism. The next personality that we are going to take up is Justin Trudeau. He is the current and 23rd Prime Minister of Canada. He belongs to Liberal Party of Canada. He has been in the news for directly making India responsible for the assassination of Sikh terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar in Canadian soil. Unfortunately, he made this statement in the Parliament of Canada, and the Indian government is demanding full evidence of the same from him now. However, the government of India has been sending warning signals to Trudeau government about the rise and expansion of Khalistan movement in Canada in the past. When Trudeau came to India on an official visit in 2018, the Canadian High Commissioner in New Delhi invited Sikh extremist named Jaspal Ottawal. He was involved in the past for attempting to assassinate an Indian minister in 1986 and was also implicated in an attack on the Premier of British Columbia, Ujjal Dosanjh. However, Ottawal's name was finally removed from the list of invitees as the Government of India complained. Trudeau expelled his own MP, Ramesh Sangha, from the party for accusing fellow MP Navdeep Bains on the ground that the latter may have soft corner for extremist views and for Khalistan. He abruptly cancelled trade talks with India, the fifth largest economy of the world. But unfortunately, he signed a free trade agreement and several other bilateral agreements with war-torn Ukraine during the latest visit of the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to Canada. During Zelensky's visit this month, the Canadian House of Commons honored a 98-year-old Ukrainian Canadian named Yaroslav Hunka, who served in the infamous SS division of Nazi Germany during the Second World War. But Trudeau subsequently made a statement and said it was a mistake on the part of the Parliament in Canada. This is how Prime Minister Trudeau has been in the limelight for the last 2 months. He is the second youngest PM of Canada after Joe Clark. To note, his father, Pierre Trudeau, was also the Prime Minister of Canada. And the last personality that we are taking up today is Rupert Murdoch. Who's he? He's a 92-year-old Australia-born American billionaire businessman and media mogul who has recently announced his retirement from the post of chairman from his companies called News Corp and Fox News. His family fortune is said to be worth $19 billion. He got into the news business when he was just 21 years old. He announced that he will continue as chairman emeritus of these companies. His eldest son, Lachlan Murdoch, will take over from him in coming November. He has influenced both the British and the American politics and media for decades by giving all of them a new turn of the century. He is known as a divisive figure all across the world and on both sides of the Atlantic. Recently, he became the inspiration for the patriarch protagonist of the famous TV show called Succession, created by Jess Armstrong. He founded the global media holding company called News Corporation Limited in the year 1979. He owns some of the most famous newspapers in the world: The Times, London; The Wall Street Journal, US; The Sunday Times, London; News of the World, London; The Sun, London; Sky News, it's a TV channel; HarperCollins, it's a publishing house; and a very popular TV show called MasterChef. But all is not well with this billionaire, and he has invited sharp criticism from many quarters throughout his lifetime. Former Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull once said, "Murdoch has done enormous damage to the democratic world." So friends, with this, I conclude my lecture today, and I'll be bringing these kind of famous personalities to you quite often. Thank you for watching me. Please share and subscribe my channel, and also watch my other two channels, Dr. Makhan Saikia's talk on national affairs and Political Science by Dr. Makhan. Thank you so much and have a good day.